Okay, we got a problem here with a car being pulled by two people at two different angles with two different forces. And the question is, what's the resultant of these two forces pulling at the same time? So I've made two separate pictures, one for the force to the left, one for the force to the right. And I'm going to break them down into their components. Okay, I've drawn in some component vectors. As you see here, the green components are the ones representing the forward portion of the pull, and these two red ones here are representing the sideways components of the pull. So for the one on the right here, I've got sine 30 equals opposite over 400 to find the red side. When I multiply both sides by 400 to solve for opposite, I get opposite side is 200. And call that Fx for that one. And for the one here on the left, opposite side, I'm solving for that. Sine 10 equals opposite over 450. Solving for opposite, I multiply both sides by 450. I get Fx is equal to 78.1 for that one. Next, I've drawn the forward components for both forces, the green ones, and I have looked at solving those using cosine. Cosine 30 adjacent over 400, giving me 346 for this one when I multiply both sides by 400. And for the 450 times the cosine of 10, I get 443. So I'm going to look at my total forward force, the two green arrows, and I've got 346 and 443. And those combine to give me 789. 789 in the forward direction. So I'm going to draw an arrow like this. If I look at the two red arrows, they're in opposite directions. I've got 200 to the right, and I've got 78.1 to the left. So those would subtract to give me 121.9 or 122 and to the 200 Newton side. So that's 122. $122 to the right and 789 forward. You probably know what to do with it from here. I'm going to Pythagorize this to get the answer to that line there. Square root 789 squared plus 122 squared. I get 798 newtons. That's not really a vector answer for a resultant unless I know what direction. So I'm going to find this direction from straight ahead because that's where their angles were measured from using inverse tangent. When I plug in the numbers, 122 for opposite, 789 for adjacent, inverse tangent, I get 8.79 degrees from straight ahead. There's also a part B to this question that says, what would it accelerate at if it was pulled by these two people with these two forces at these angles? If we're using Newton's second law equation, F equals ma, or better as A equals F over m. I know the net force pulling on the car is the two people's combined into one, which is 798. And I know the mass of the car is given in the problem of being 3,000 kilograms. So putting in those numbers, dividing, I get the acceleration would be 2.66 meters per second squared.